Hey there, fans. Welcome to another weekly toy news update. Last Friday, Hasbro Pulse had a fan fest, and in this fan fest, a number of details were revealed regarding the G.I. Joe Classified series. Some pretty exciting news is coming out of that. Some of the figures that they revealed, and again, I do believe these were 3D rendered figures. I don't believe they were the actual, like an actual sculpt or prototype. So, but we'll take a look at it. First up are the twins, Tomax and Zaymont. From what I understand, they are not going to be sold in a 2-pack. You will have to buy each of them individually, if I'm not mistaken. So make sure you know which one you bought if you're buying them at different times, so you don't accidentally pick up the same one. One of my favorite characters back then, I always thought it would be cool to have a twin brother, and so it was a pretty cool gimmick back in the 80s where if you hit one, the other one feels it. I have twin boys, as many of you guys know. They don't have that attribute, right? If you hit one, that one will feel it. So, but pretty cool nonetheless. Looking forward to getting these action figures. I like their costume design. Very classic, pretty much classic all around. The colors look nice. Sculpt looks decent as far as the face. Overall, not too bad. I believe it looks like one has a scar on his face and the other one doesn't. So pretty cool. Can't wait to get them. Definitely part of the wish list. Next up is going to be Baroness. Now, we already had a Baroness figure that came with a motorcycle, but this one seems to be a little bit more, even more so, on the classic look. I'm not really sure. I'd have to do a comparison between the two to see if it's even worthy of being picked up, because I was pretty happy with the figure that I picked up with the motorcycle. So we'll just have to take a look and see before I jump into this one. Next up is going to be their version of Destro. And Destro here has a very, very classic look, very reminiscent of the 80s. I really like it. I have the first Destro that came out part of this series, not the gold face one, but the silver face plated one, and I liked it. And so again, this is another one that I would have to compare in order to see if I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. Next up is Gung Ho. Gung Ho is a classic, cool character. They already had a Gung Ho that came out in green camouflage. This one is more reminiscent of his look back in the 80s with a teal color instead of green. And I really do like the face on this one a lot better. The old Gung Ho, or at least the one that I have, has such a blank look on his face. This one looks a little bit more intense, a little bit more serious. So this one's definitely one I'm picking up. Next after that is Lady J, an old favorite. One of my favorite characters growing back up. Lady J, her figure was, she already had a figure from what I shouldn't say from what I remember. She already has a figure. And it came out last year in 2021. It was a really cool figure. I liked it. I would have to compare that one with this one to see if I'll be picking this one up. I do like the face sculpt on this one a little bit more, but we'll have to take a look and see, right? I don't just buy everything to buy it. I am selective with what I buy, and if it's a good upgrade, then definitely I'll pick it up. So this one's waiting to be seen, right? Next up is going to be Stalker. Stalker's a new character to the figure line. We haven't seen a previous Stalker, so I'm pretty excited about this. Don't remember too much about Stalker, to be quite honest with you, but I'm excited to have a new character overall joining the line, so I'll definitely be picking him up and adding him to the collection. Moving on over to the legacy world of Transformers. Hasbro announced last week that they were coming out with a new character named Iguanus. Iguanus, if I'm not mistaken, was a Pretender back in the 80s. Wasn't too big on the Pretenders. I had a couple of them. I don't remember if Iguanus was one of them, but yeah, they're reintroducing this character. And as you can see here, they're giving him some type of a Cybertronian cycle. I would imagine it's a Cybertronian cycle. I'm not really quite sure looking at it, but looks pretty cool nonetheless. Not my flavor, to be quite honest with you. The Legacy brand is one that I am really going to pass up on because really nothing's exciting me here. Again, I am very selective with the figures that I buy. Having a family, I have to be. If not, I could go broke pretty quick. Here's the character in robot mode. Looks pretty interesting. Again, iguana type head to match his name, Iguanas. Might be something that you guys like. If you guys like it, great. Let me know when you guys pick it up, what you guys think. Let me know in the comments, actually, ahead of time, right? Let me know what you think, if you like it, and if you'll be picking it up or not. Next, they revealed Skywarp, and Skywarp is in its classic jet mode. I'm really not sure, like, what are the differences. It seems like if you look at the robot mode, it's very similar to, gosh, the Generation series that came out like over a decade ago. And I don't buy every single action figure, Transformer action figure. Number one, it has to look good to me, number one. And it also has to make sense. Like, is this a cool action figure? Is this going to be one of those just basic Transformer type things that I don't really want to get? And in this case, I mean, you could see by the jet mode that his arms protruding out from under his wings. So not even the arms are going to collapse into the chest or somewhere where it's not visible. It's just kind of out there in the open. I'm not really a big fan of that. But if you are, again, hey, that's great for you. I'm sure we'll get a bunch of repaints of Starscream or Thundercracker or Acid Storm or whoever else they can do with this particular mold. This mold works well for them because they can automatically do several repaints and collectors will pick it up. And that's what we have for Skywarp. Moving on to the world of rescue bots. Now, the reason I'm throwing rescue bots in here is because I do have a nephew. He just turned a year old last year, and I did get him a couple of rescue bots for his birthday, and he really liked it. He's gotten a little bit bigger since then, obviously, and knows more, and he's kind of into dinosaurs now and sharks. So I did manage to pick up some Imaginext dinosaurs for him for Christmas. And so this is something that I'll definitely be getting for him, even though it says 3+. This kid's pretty big. If he keeps growing at the rate that he's going, he'll be joining the NBA pretty soon. But yeah, he likes it. He likes anything that has to do with monsters. He's been terrorizing my sister all throughout the house. My fiance got him a shark jacket, and he just makes pretend like he's a shark, and he'll creep up on my sister and scare her. I call him Shark Boy for short. So yeah, definitely be picking this up for him at the very least. Next up, we got some Transformers action figures. They look like Legend-style action figures to me. I'm not really sure where they're going with this line or what it's all about, so if you guys have any details or any information, hit me up. But it looks like we've got a number of characters from Optimus Prime, Starscream, Bumblebee, Grimlock, Ratchet, RC, and Barricade. And that Barricade looks like he's from the Disney Cars movie. Again, these look like Legend-style action figures. If you're into that stuff, all the more power to you. I'm sure you'll have a blast with it. Some other figures that came out, it looks like they're within the same line as we got Wheeljack, Soundwave, and Shockwave to go along with the others that we just finished mentioning. So again, not my cup of tea, but if it's yours, great, fantastic. Hope you have fun with it and hope you like it. Next up is we've got Studio Series action figures. These were announced last year, but reviews are starting to come out for them. If you do a search on YouTube, I'm sure you'll find a bunch of people already reviewing these. These are really interesting. I really like the designs on these. The only thing I can't stand is, why do Cybertronian vehicles have windshields and cockpits? I'll never get that. I'll never understand that from just a common sense type of thing. There are no humans on Cybertron. So it baffles me that they would have windshields. I really enjoyed Bumblebee's version. It looked like a vehicle with sensors and no windshield. That makes sense. And it makes sense that they would get windshields once they come to Earth, or cockpits once they come to Earth, because now you've got a human that could potentially ride inside of them. But on Cybertron, unless you're doing a human-sized mini-con, it doesn't make sense to me. But anyhow, so we've got Wheeljack first up. Ratchet is up next. Ratchet looks pretty cool. I really do like the Cybertronian design here. And I do like his robot mode. He looks pretty good. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I really enjoyed about the Bumblebee movie was the opening scene, right? The entire war on Cybertron. If we could have more of that, please, that would be great. I liked all the Cybertronian designs for all the different characters. The only one I didn't like, at least from the Autobot side, excuse me, I liked all the ones from the Autobot side. I did not like Optimus Prime because Optimus Prime, he looked like he was a semi-truck. Semi-trucks are specific to here, Earth. Why does he have windshields? again, I don't understand that. That design is perfect for when he touches down here on Earth towards the end of the film. That design works perfectly. But the rest, but prior to that, it just doesn't make sense. And I know as a 3D modeler that it doesn't take a whole lot to just change out the windshields and put a chest plate there, and just make him look something different than what he was. It just, that's not, it doesn't make sense to me. And then all the Decepticons, they look like their G1 counterparts way too much. Wasn't enough alien in them. So I have my gripes about it, but these figures look pretty good. As you can see here, Soundwave is looking like some type of Cybertronian hovercraft, I guess. He looks pretty interesting, actually, as far as his vehicle mode goes. His robot mode, again, if you like the G1 stuff, yeah, but I just think it looks way too much G1. I think we need to have a happy medium between the Bayverse, which I'm not a fan of at all, and the 80s look. I think there's got to be something in between there, some happy medium where we can reach that it's not 100%, G1 and not so alien that you can't recognize it. Then we've got Shockwave that's been announced also. Again, reviews are up on YouTube. Lots of people have been reviewing them already. Shockwave is very reminiscent to his Transformers Prime Universe counterpart. So yeah, let me know what you guys think if you guys are picking any of these up. I will probably pass on just about all of these. I shouldn't say may. I know I'm going to pick up RC, even though RC, I couldn't find any reviews for RC. But Brawn is here, and he looks pretty cool in both modes, similar to Ratchet. Moving on, Transformers RED Knockout. I picked up an RED RC, and I liked it. It was good. It had some minor issues here and there, but as far as it's an action figure, not a transforming action figure, it's pretty good. I know a lot of people don't really like the transforming or the non-transforming figures. You know, everybody has a different cup of tea, right? And if you like it, great. If you don't like it, great. Either which way. I happen to like it because they're so accurate. Can't get that with transforming vehicles, and to be quite honest with you, on my shelf, they're gonna sit on robot mode for the most part. I don't have, actually none of my shelves are any of them in vehicle mode. They're all in robot mode. So to me, it doesn't make a difference. I like it, I'll pick it up. The only thing that I don't like is the fact that the height, the scale of the characters are not gonna be in line, right? I think RC is a good size smaller than Knockout, and it looks like to me they may be very close in size. So the scale is something that throws me off, which is a shame because I really do like these figures, and I hope they do better with some of the colors for the weapons and stuff like that. I really would like to pick up another RC and take my shot at doing some updated paint apps. So maybe I'll do that in my next vacation that I get from work. These are up in eBay. There are a few listings already up in eBay, which means that if you want to pay double or triple the price, you can, or you can wait till they hit stores, which should be pretty soon. Moving on to some third-party action figures, and it looks like here we've got a Bulkhead style action figure, which looks, I mean, honestly, if you like G1, you'll like this figure. If you like a hint of animated, you'll like this figure. As for me, it's not really my cup of tea. I am a big Transformers fan, Transformers Prime fan, as you guys know, but to be honest with you, these types of things I pass on. I'm not a big, even though I was raised in the G1 era, right? I was born in the late 70s, more so grew up in the 80s. But yeah, this just doesn't it doesn't call my attention. But if it does to you, let me know what you guys think. It's an awesome looking vehicle. It's made by XTransBot, and it's called MX36 Bulwark. So pretty neat, I think, but not my cup of tea. I really like the vehicle mode. If I have to compare the vehicle and the robot, I would say the vehicle mode is pretty cool. I like the vehicle mode, but the robot mode, no, not for me. Moving on to Flames Toys. They've got their version of Leo Convoy. This is a model kit. I have to be honest with you guys. I picked up the Hot Rod IDW action figure or model kit from Flame Toys, and I liked it. It's a solid action figure, very posable. The quality of plastic is, at least for the figure that I got, was really good. Remember, I think I did a review on Iron Pioneer about maybe about a year and a half ago. And honestly, since I've sat it on the shelf, I have not touched it because, like I said in my review, I'm afraid to break it. It's the plastic feels fragile. And with Flames toys, you don't get that. It's a solid action figure. I've been messing around with it, posing them in different poses. I've posed them in five more different poses than I have with the Iron Pioneer. So it's definitely the company or quality, as far as the action figure that I got, it was my first one, is definitely worth the pickup if you are into non-transforming action figures, and if you want to model this out or build it together as a hobby, right? It was pretty fun. Moving on. After that is, the last thing I wanted to touch on was Skydance Studios. Skydance Studios apparently is a co-producer of the G.I. Joe and Transformers film. And according to TFW2005.com, it seems like they are walking away from their partnership with them. Based on the article, it says here, Skydance Media, which co-financed and co-produced Transformers and G.I. Joe live-action movies for Paramount Pictures, is moving away from the Big Mountain in favor of Apple. However, it is stated that Skydance Media will still retain the rights to co-produce and co-finance Transformers and G.I. Joe franchises. But the terms of that are unclear at the moment. This move will likely put pressure on the Viacom subsidiary to seek out a new co-producer. Skydance Media's last outing with a movie based on Hasbro property ended up in a financial disaster with Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins, only raking in just $40 million worldwide against a production budget of $100 million. That is, in terms of numbers, that is a huge loss. And it's very sad. And I'm going to give my quick opinion on this, guys. Companies in Hollywood, they seem to like losing money all of a sudden. Whenever you go away from source material, and you guys know I'm a stickler for source material. I love source material. The reason it's on the big screen is because of the source material. So when you change something that's completely alien to the base, to the large base of your franchise, these are going to be the results. You can modify things, you can change things that are subtle here and there to modernize things, right? And maybe make it sense, have it make sense in a way that it didn't make sense before. That's totally fine. And that if it's done right, it'll work. But if you're going to change something completely out of character or out of the norm, you're going to upset the large portion of your base, and they're going to reject it, and you're going to end up losing money. And the bottom line for all these companies is, how much money is this going to make me? Right? What's my projected, what am I coming in on, and what's the overall intake for the company? And these companies, a lot of these companies are losing money. I did actually get to see the G.I. Joe film. Thankfully, I didn't go watch it at the theater because I already saw where it was going and I didn't like it. And so when I saw it at my sister's house, I confirmed, and I'm glad that I didn't go see it because I saved myself money. I saved myself like close to $100 because every time I go to the movies with my family, with the boys, we spend pretty close to that. And so for me personally, I'm not going to go spend $100 of my hard-earned cash on something that's completely foreign and alien to what I grew up with. Now, you're going to have different areas of clientele, if you will. When you cater to one side, meaning your newer viewers, you disenfranchise the older ones. If you cater to the older ones, well, the newer ones, they don't really know. They don't really know the history. More than likely, they don't. So if you make something that's more towards the original, you'll have a broader area, of viewership. And that's what I think these companies are missing out. They're forgetting that the reason they're there is because of their base. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So that's just, again, my opinion. I know there's going to be 1,000,001 opinions out there, but this is pretty interesting. I hope and wish that Paramount and Hasbro, they change gears on what they're doing with both movies, both franchise movies. They're sitting on gold mines, but they just don't realize it. Or they realize it, but they don't know how to capitalize on it. And yes, we can debate and say, well, was the Transformers franchise a success or not? In some ways it was, and in some ways it wasn't. And I think that the reason it was is because the audience is being exposed to something new, robots that transform and cool cars and explosions and special effects. And all of that, you know, superseded the story. But then when you look at it as a whole, it's like the story falls apart. And really, like I said, I think the Transformers franchise could have been a masterpiece, and it just fell short in my eyes. But anyhow, guys, that's what I have for you guys. Tell me what you guys think. Give me your opinions. Let me know in the comments. And thank you for joining in. I'll see you guys next time. Till all are one. Peace out.